Hi, and very welcome to Milkfish Chess channel. Hello chess warriors! Here comes another video, and now we're featuring Donald Byrne as white playing against Bobby Fischer, 13 years old with the black pieces. So you probably have already heard about Bobby Fischer, but you may not have probably heard about Donald Byrne. So Donald Byrne was one of the leading American chess masters at the time of this game. Okay, so he won the 1953 US Open Championship and later represented the United States in the 1962, 1964 and 1968 chess Olympiads. He became an international master in 1962 and probably would have risen further if not for ill health. Robert Bobby Fischer was at that time a promising young master. Following his game, he had a meteoric rise, winning the 1957 US Open on tie-breaks, winning the 1957 and 58 US Closed Championship, and all 7 later championships in which he played. Qualifying for the Candidates Tournament and becoming the 1958 youngest Grandmaster at the age of 15. And he won the World Championship in 1972 and is considered by many the greatest chess player of all time. That being said, let's see the game. Okay, so Donald Byrne is playing with the white pieces and he started with Knight f3, the Reti opening. Bobby Fischer replied with Knight f6, and then we have c4. Bobby Fischer played g6, Knight to c3, Bishop to g7, d4, and castle by Bobby Fischer. So we already can see that Bobby Fischer is playing the hyper-modern chess. So while Donald Byrne is acting directly with his pawns in the center, Bobby Fischer is trying to control the center with his minor pieces and the fianchetto, the bishop. So already an interesting position and decision by Bobby Fischer. So the game continues with bishop to f4 and d5, queen to b3, pawn takes, making the queen lose a tempo again. So queen to c4 and c6. So as we can see, this pawn on c7 was attacked by the queen and the bishop, so c6 defending the pawn and also making this position a little bit more solid. This knight is gonna develop to d7, okay, and probably then to b6. So a good move, defensive move, but already preparing the development of his pieces. So e4, trying to control the center, and now knight b to d7. And rook to d1, adding another protection to this pawn and probably preparing for advancing this pawn later on in the game. So knight to b6, attacking the queen. So you can see that Bobby Fischer has played this knight twice, so 2 followed moves. And as a principle, this is not a good thing to do, but the exception is when you're gaining a tempo. Alright, so Donald Byrne continued with knight to c5, and this is kind of an aggressive move, you know. Let's come back this move. So the queen is attacked. One may surely play queen to b3, and this is a safe move. Okay, so now you're protecting your queen. You're keeping your queen behind your pawns, and this could be more prudent. But Donald Byrne goes for the attack. You know, he's an international master and he wasn't the favorite for this game. Young Bobby Fischer is only 13 years old, so he goes aggressive and he plays queen to c5. And that's okay. So now that this rook has played on d1, now Bobby Fischer can play bishop to g4, and now that he's pinning this knight. Alright. So Donald Byrne plays bishop to g5, okay, and this is really not the best move. Probably here, let's go back this move. Probably here the best move is bishop to e2, okay, just developing and preparing to castle. and that would be a expected development, normal development. And this bishop move, now it allows Bobby Fischer to start a sequence of moves like a combo, and he's really going to improve his position because of this move. So now it's Bobby Fischer's turn, and he has to prove, and chess is all about this. You have to prove that this was a mistake. And how do you prove that? And now Bobby Fischer plays one of the most interesting moves on chess history. So if you want to try to find this move, feel free to pause this video and try to find this move. And if you can find it, you're a genius. Okay, so you're probably the next Bobby Fischer. So the move that Bobby Fischer played now is knight to a4. Yes, a very interesting move, a brilliant move. Bobby Fischer really wants to grab this pawn on e4 with his knight and attack the queen and the bishop. He really thinks that this pawn is really worth more than this knight. So let's see what in this game Donald Byrne, after calculating a lot, he decided not to grab this knight here. This knight here is also threatening the pawn on b2. So Donald Byrne played the safe move, queen to a3. Okay, but let's see what would happen. Let's say, for example, that now white really takes here the knight. So the game could follow like this. Now knight takes e4, so that's the main idea of Bobby Fischer. And now we have some possibilities. Okay, so one main line goes like this. So the queen is attacked. You can try to save your queen, but another idea is try to take this pawn, because it's attacked twice by the queen and the bishop. So let's see what would happen. So let's say that the bishop now takes pawn. You don't want to take the queen, so you lose your queen also. So Bobby Fischer would probably play queen to c7, kind of stew threatening bishop, and now the queen is attacked. Let's say, for example, another idea, you play now queen to a3, trying to protect the bishop. For example, let's say you do this move. So then simply this rook comes out of the attack and is attacking the bishop. Let's say he tries bishop to h4. Then simply bishop to f8. This is awesome. So now you're attacking this queen, so where can it go? There are not many places he can go, because now black is threatening a discovery attack from this knight. So the queen must be careful about that. So it cannot go to b3 because of this. Then simply maybe knight to c5, discover check and picking the queen. It cannot go to c3 because the knight is protecting. It cannot go to d3, same reason, and to e3, same reason. So there's really no way you can save it. Let's say, for example, you try to block the attack with knight to c5, then simply knight takes c5 and this comes with a check. And now really black has recovered its piece, and it's just with a strong attack. So let's say white covers, then simply knight to e6. This comes with a discovery attacking the queen. Where are you gonna put this queen? You really have no choice. Let's say you wanna play something like b4, but now the problem is knight to f4, and now this bishop is attacked twice by the knight and by the rook. You cannot even try to defend this with knight here because the knight is pinned. So it's all over. You would have the best move you could do here is castle, and then it's all over. So this is one possibility. After knight to a4, so after knight takes and knight takes, then another line would go like this: queen to a7, queen takes a7. Black can simply play the queen to a5. You can try to defend this maybe with b4, and after queen takes a4 or queen takes e4, you have rook f to e8. Now if you try to block this with bishop to e7, and then simply first bishop takes f3, and after g takes f3, you have this bishop to f8, and there's no way to save this bishop, and black has a much better position. So again, let's see if white probably takes here and then black takes here. Another idea is to play simply queen to b4, but then simply knight takes g5. And it's already winning. So let's say after knight takes g5, then bishop takes g1 and king takes g1. He can play, for example, b5, and after knight to c5, bishop to d4, then bishop takes d4. And this position is really good for black. Right now he's threatening some nasty discoveries. His king is in the center. So again, what do you do? He played queen to e3. Let's say again, let's see another line. So now you're attacking queen. Let's say, for example, what another continuation could be here: queen to c1, queen to e3. Yeah, let's see queen to c1, keeping a defense on bishop to g5. Then simply bishop takes f3. Okay, this is a good continuation. And after pawn recaptures, you can simply play queen to a5. Now after this bishop comes back, you can take it. So, and after queen takes it, you just take the knight. So you got your piece back. You're up in material, because now you have 7 pawns against 6 pawns, and those are double pawns. And this position is really superior for black. Although they are opposite color bishops, black is much better because this king is in the center and white is so behind in development that black will be able to win this game. Okay, so this is another possibility, and really there is really not any possibility after knight takes d4. We didn't see yet probably queen to a3. We didn't see this, but simply then knight takes g5. So you don't want to recapture this because now you're losing. Okay, so after bishop takes and king takes, now you have this queen takes pawn, and it's all over. So you may want to try to block this, but simply now queen to f2, and there are so many threats. Those rooks are coming to the game, and this king is in the center, so it would be all over. So very nice, very deep move by the young 13 years old Bobby Fischer, and so he plays this historical move, knight to e4. So very interesting. So yeah, so Byrne played queen to e3, and Bobby Fischer so take the knight on c3, and you may think, okay, all of this, but he really achieved nothing. Now white has a strong center, and white is also attacking this pawn, so this knight can never move. He cannot take here, because then bishop comes here with a double attack on the rook and the queen. So okay, young Bobby tried some dirty trick, but Donald Byrne is a much more experienced player. He's an international master, he's the favorite, and he knows what he's doing now, so he didn't fall to that trap, and he's probably winning, right? Well, let's see. So in this position, Bobby Fischer did capture the pawn on e4, so he made everything for this pawn, so why would he give up this time? And he allowed Donald Byrne to take this pawn, and let's see how it goes on. So Donald Byrne is like saying, okay, this kid he tried some dirty trap, and now I'm winning. Okay, and let's see. So Bobby Fischer played queen to b6. White cannot take this rook now. It wouldn't be good for white. So Donald Byrne simply did what he should have done already. Instead of playing that bishop to g5, he should have developed this bishop and then castled. So he's trying to do this right now. Let's see what could happen if he took this rook here. Then simply this bishop would recapture. Now with an attack on the queen, queen has to move. Let's say, for example, offering a trade of queens. Then simply rook to e8, and this is already winning for black. So bishop to c4 instead, just developing and trying to castle. The move that Bobby Fischer plays now is knight takes c3. White cannot take this knight now. If queen takes knight, then simply this rook here is making pressure on the bishop. This bishop is pinned, And let's say, for example, the queen tries to defend this again, bishop takes f3. And this is enough to win. Now, if you recapture, then simply queen to d8. And there is really no way to save the pawn. You would have to castle, and after the rook takes, so black is much better. Okay, so he's up one pawn. The pawn structure here is damaged. His king here is vulnerable, and this is a much better position for black. So again, a brilliant move by Bobby Fischer. So after bishop to c4, he plays knight takes c3. And Donald Byrne saw that, and I think that probably in this position he started to worry about his position. But okay, he tries something. So the problem is that this bishop was going to be pinned. So he deals with that first before taking this knight. So he now plays c5. And okay, now he's threatening the queen. Now he's threatening the rook. Now there's no pins anymore. There are no pins anymore here. And he probably thought he was doing well here. So Bobby Fischer improved his position, so he's now checking with rook f to e8, and king goes to f1, getting out of danger. And in this position, I believe that Donald Byrne thought that he has really neutralized black's attack. So the attack from Bobby Fischer, the young Bobby Fischer, the 13 years old little kid that is sitting right in front of him. And he probably thought that now it's all over, because this queen is attacked, and the white has already neutralized. He's gonna take this knight next move, and it's all over. It's probably over. So probably black would have to resign in this position. And yes, so Bobby Fischer resigned this game. No, I'm kidding. Of course he didn't. Now Bobby Fischer comes with one of the most brilliant moves in the chess history. And okay, if you want to pause and try to find this move, you can do this right now. So imagine you're playing with the black pieces now. What would you do? You have your queen attacked, you have your knight attacked, and what can you do really? How can you save your position? Would you resign? Would you maybe offer draw to see if your opponent does accept it? Or would you simply leave the table and eat an ice cream? I don't know. What would you do? So Bobby Fischer didn't want to do any of that, and he continued with one of the most brilliant moves in history of chess. And he played bishop to e6. Bishop to e6 is a brilliant move. So he's just letting his queen here, but he's trying to do some attack here. Here probably the best continuation for white would have been queen takes c3, and this would allow. But the problem is that now this pawn is pinned because of this here. Then simply black could play this, okay? And in this position, black would be better. So for example, takes, and now bishop takes. Let's say for example, bishop takes and rook takes. This position is really much better for black. So black is one pawn up, and this rook has not yet developed. And white has 3 pawn islands against 2 pawn islands, and a bishop against a knight. So a really better position for black, a winning position for black. Okay, but this would have offered more resistance. But okay, Donald Byrne probably thought that bishop to e6 was a desperate move. Now young Bobby Fischer was losing. He just lost his queen, and he's trying some desperate moves. So let's just grab this queen. And now this kid let's teach him a lesson. So bishop takes b6, and now Donald Byrne probably went out and was going to drink some water and probably take some fresh air and just enjoy his victory. But Bobby Fischer had different ideas, and he played Bishop takes c4. Now it comes with a check on the king. The king only move now is g1 because this column is taken by this rook. So king to g1, and now knight to e2 check, and king to f1. So probably at this position, Donald Byrne thought that it was going to be a draw. Okay, he just thought, oh, I know what this kid is going to do. He's going to play knight here, and after I move my king, he's going to be checking me and repeating this 3 times, and this is going to be a draw. That's okay, that's fine. I'm going to take that. This kid is learning, and let's just make him happy. So, okay, no problem, let's draw. But that's not what happened. So after the bishop came here and the king came here, Bobby Fischer indeed played knight to e2 check. But after king to f1, then Bobby Fischer just grabbed a pawn. Why not? So he have all the time in the world. He can do as many checks as he wants. So why not to grab a pawn first? And now this king is in check. So king has to move, and again on the move is king to g1. And here it comes again, knight to e2, and king to f1. And at this position, probably Donald Byrne was not drinking his water anymore, because Fischer now played knight to c3, and he's not trying to repeat moves. So probably he started to worry about his position now. So Donald Byrne played the only move, king to g1, and Bobby Fischer took the bishop. It comes with the tempo. Now the rook is threatening the queen. This knight is protected by this bishop here, and all the pieces are really in harmony, very cooperating. So Donald Byrne tries to attack this bishop here and also the pawn here. So he's still trying to do something, but rook to a4, a really interesting move. It's protected by this knight. Now it's defending the bishop. It's attacking the queen. This knight is defended by this bishop. So as you can see, all the Bobby Fischer pieces are like cooperating with each other, playing in perfect harmony, and doing a very strong attack. So Donald Byrne grabs another pawn. Queen takes b6, and Bob Fischer continues with his attack. Now knight takes rook. And if you look at this position, what is this rook doing? Where is this king going? So Bobby Fischer is winning by far here, but he has to prove it. Donald Byrne's play h3, probably trying to release the king to h2 and then release this rook. But rook takes a2, king goes to h2, now attacking knight. Knight simply takes another pawn, so it's attacked by the queen, but it's protected by this rook. So king to e1, with a very simple idea. It's trying to exchange pieces and release the pressure, but it really won't work. So Bobby Fischer takes, queen checks, only move, bishop blocks, and now knight recapture, but now this position is just collapsing. Bishop to d5. Okay, and this is blocking this queen to come back here into the game. It's also making pressure here, so if ever this knight moves, this is gonna be really awesome. So knight blocks this attack, but simply now knight to e4. This is a very interesting move, putting the knight in a more central square, and this also guarding now this square here, so the bishop can play here. Okay, so queen to b8. Black can not play this yet because it's pinned. So black has now this pawn is attacked, so he saves the pawn first. b5, h4, trying to do some trickery here, maybe try to push e5. So Bobby Fischer is not in a hurry, he just stops this attack, so he plays h5, and knight goes to b5, so now improving the position of his knight. But simply now king to g7. Now this bishop is free to go. Now that it's not pinned anymore, and is really threatening this move. So Bob Fischer, Donald Byrne plays king to g1, but now bishop to c5. and the engine is already giving my forced checkmate in 8 moves. So king to f1, knight goes to g3 check, king to e1, and now a sequence of forced moves: d1, bishop checks, c, knight checks, king to b1, but now simply knight to c3 check, king to c1 only good, and move to c2, and this is a checkmate. So it's very interesting that Donald Byrne, a very strong international master, a very strong player, of course he saw that this rook to c2 was coming with the checkmate. I'm pretty sure he saw this move, but it's very interesting that he allowed Bobby Fischer to play this. You know, many players would have resigned maybe 4 or 5 moves earlier, because this was a forced checkmate sequence. But Donald Byrne allowed Bobby Fischer, the young Bobby Fischer, 13 years old, to do this sequence, and it was really a nice thing from Donald Byrne. You know, this game wouldn't be the game of the century if it wasn't until the end. Probably it was gonna be the game of the century, but Donald Byrne let it go until the end. So it's kind of encouraging and telling Bob and recognizing the superiority and the potential of Bobby Fischer, like recognizing that he was a genius. And when you're recognizing you're playing against a genius, you just allow him to checkmate you and do all the beauty he can do on the chessboard. Okay, so that's a very interesting game. I do hope you have enjoyed this game. So this is the game of the century, and you can see that a little kid, a boy with 13 years old, playing like that, you can see that he's really a genius. He's really a different player, and that's why he made history, and he's considered by many the greatest player in the history, and with very original and creative moves. So that's him, that's Bobby Fischer. I hope you enjoyed this video. So if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel, please give your like, give your thumbs up, and it will help us to improve the channel and offer very interesting material more and more. Okay, so thank you so much for your audience, and I'll see you next time. Thank you, goodbye.